Yeah, all right. Welcome. Another edition of It's Still Real to Me, brought to us, of course, by the title sponsor of everything Zaslow Show 2.0, Anna Jar and Levine, Accident Attorneys, 800-747-FREE, 800-747-3733. You've been involved in any kind of an accident, hit and run, slip and fall, motorcycle. You let Anna Jar and Levine Accident Attorneys put their skills to work for you and get you the compensation you deserve. Anna Jar and Levine Accident Attorneys, 800-747-FREE, 800-747-3733. Glad to have you with us here. Hop aboard. I see you guys are getting on the show. We are live here on a Sunday night. We got the early in the fourth quarter, a hell of a football game going on right now, Chiefs and Bills, but we're here to talk about the big week in the world of pro wrestling. We're at the best time of year in pro wrestling. We got Royal Rumble next weekend. Our pal, of course, is Joey Levin, who is always here with us on It's Still Real to Me. Hello, Joey. How are you this week? Good to see you.
I'm doing well. I'm excited. Big fun week this week in wrestling. Excited for everyone's favorite match, the Royal Rumble. And if it's not your favorite match, you're lying to yourself. And paying attention to this Chiefs Bills game. This is another classic.
Great game.
Another
Great
one. So
game.
if I get distracted at any point, sorry, but that's what it is.
No. If you notice what's going on there, shout it out, all right? So we can let people know who are watching us live. If you're listening to us, that means you're listening on the podcast, which is after the fact. And I love that too, because it's still real to me after the live stream gets uploaded to the podcast right away. Make sure you like, you rate, you comment, you do all that good stuff. Make sure you got the notifications on the YouTube channel. And of course, we love when you guys comment. You can question, you can leave comments, and we can add them into the show. That's always fun. So we got the NFL playoffs going on right now. NBA season. I mean, the Heat. What a pitiful effort this afternoon. Bet Online. They got you covered with all the up to the second odds, news, and scores, with additional odds, lines, trends, and info on both the desktop and mobile versions. You can access the world's best wagering information anytime. Head there today to get into the action and see all the updated odds. Remember to use promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet Online, where the game starts. So, where we're going to start, we're 6 days away from Royal Rumble. I'm going to the Royal Rumble. I'm super excited. It'll be the third Royal Rumble. Have you ever been to a Royal Rumble, Joey?
I have not.
It'll be the third Royal Rumble I've ever been to. I've been to 1992. That was during the Gulf War, when they set up Wrestlemania 7 for Hogan to fight Sergeant Slaughter for the title. Hogan won the Royal Rumble. Now, back then, the winner of the Royal Rumble, it didn't mean anything. You didn't get a shot at WrestleMania. I think that started maybe 2 years later, maybe 93, if I'm remembering correctly. But Hogan won the Royal Rumble, and Ultimate Warrior lost the title to Sergeant Slaughter when Macho hit him over the head with the scepter. It was fucking shocking as a 10-year-old boy to be there and witness that. I mean, what a piece of shit that Macho Man was back then. That was the first Royal Rumble I ever went to. And the second one, I went in 2016, which was when Roman Reigns had to defend his WWE Championship against everybody as the number one entrant in the Royal Rumble. And Triple H got his revenge. I sat ringside for that one. I was second row ringside for that one, sitting behind Linda McMahon all night. And Triple H wins the Royal Rumble there. So this will be the third one. I'm taking my son Jordan, and I feel like this one's going to be a monster. I think it's going to be a great Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's three. I think it's going to be an awesome. It's going to be fun. I'll be interested because there's still some guys out there that I guess are sort of free agents or have been teased to come back to WWE that haven't come back yet. And there's some reports of people who've been out for a while to come back. So I think we're going to get some surprises, some surprise entrants this year, which they've kind of gone away from a little bit, or they've pre-announced surprise entrants. So I think we may get one or two more than we have become accustomed to the last few years in the Women's Rumble as well. And yeah, I think it's going to be fun. I think there are two clear favorites and maybe three people that can win it, but that's good. I mean, it's nice to know that there's some options, but it's going to be a fun one.
All right, so let's circle back to that. Let's start out with the big story of the week, which unless you disagree, the biggest story of the week is Seth Rollins.
Absolutely.
And what's going to happen moving forward. So I guess last week he suffered an MCL injury, and he's going to have an operation on a torn MCL. And it's
partially torn meniscus also.
Yeah, so I actually just got done. I actually just got off ESPN. I was hosting Primetime tonight with former Giants running back Brandon Jacobs. I didn't ask him on the air because nobody cares on the air, but I asked him off the air, how long does it take for MCL? He's had MCL tears, he's had MCL surgeries. And if it's a grade 1 tear, no surgery, just recovery, 3 to 4 weeks. If you have surgery, if it's a full tear, said you're looking at 8 weeks. So we're going to find out more tomorrow night because they're doing one of those segments where everybody knows about the injury now. Seth Rollins has got an announcement. Is he relinquishing the title? Like it's one of those segments, you know? I think he could power through it and be ready for WrestleMania in 8 weeks.
I don't think we're going to learn that tomorrow night. I think he's relinquishing the title either way.
Wow, really?
Yeah, and that is totally me. Now, I read a lot of the internet stuff. I follow Twitter and all that. This is me saying that makes the most sense for him to relinquish tomorrow night. Because who knows? Who knows? Best case scenario, obviously, he's back, but anything could happen in a recovery.
So how will they set that up? Will he say, I'm relinquishing it because I don't know if I'll be back in time for WrestleMania?
No, I'm injured. I cannot compete. I can't defend the title. I'm relinquishing the title. That's it. It has nothing to do with WrestleMania. And what you do is you either make the Rumble or Elimination Chamber for the title. And then CM Punk wins the title. And then if Rollins is healthy, you do CM Punk.
Could they make the Rumble for the title?
I don't think they'll do it for the Rumble, but they could definitely do it for Elimination Chamber.
Wow.
And then Punk wins the title. And then Rollins comes back for the title that he never lost.
You think in that scenario, Punk can win the Elimination Chamber, and then we are getting the big match at WrestleMania, and instead of it being the other way around, it's Rollins winning the title over Punk at WrestleMania?
Yeah.
Wow.
So what I have read is that if everything goes well, the plan is still Punk and Rollins. That's assuming everything goes well. And I think they're saying, and who knows, that the operating thought in WWE is that Rollins will be healthy to compete at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But to me, that's a huge risk to take, to just be like, you know what? He's not going to compete for 8 weeks. He's just going to rehab, and we're going to take the chance at not building anything for the next 2 months.
Right, and having the title just hanging out there and doing nothing.
Right. So
you might be right.
If he relinquishes tomorrow night, you leave all the options on the table. Everything's available. And if he's healthy, then he comes back and he fights for the title he never lost.
Well, if that's the case, then we're talking about a SmackDown male winning the Royal Rumble then, right?
No, not necessarily. I think Cody wins.
Cody wins and then just challenges Roman?
Sure. Why can't he?
No, yeah.
Or now I said at the top, there's 2 clear favorites, right? Punk and Cody.
Is he still the odds-on betting favorite? Have you looked at the betting favorites
but
recently?
I'll pull it up. The third, and I know he doesn't need to do it, would be the Rock. The Rock could win the Rumble.
I hope not.
I know, but he could. I mean, would it be the most shocking thing? I don't think so.
God, wouldn't it be so fun if Jey Uso wins the Royal Rumble?
But he's not on SmackDown either.
But just a swerve, man. Like,
yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, if Jey wins it, he needs to challenge the Tribal Chief. You know.
Right. Well, there is no SmackDown. There is no one on SmackDown, right? That you think could do it. Right?
Gosh, you might be right.
But
it feels like all the big the big names on SmackDown, they're all fighting for the title at Royal Rumble.
I mean, okay, so Punk is the odds-on favorite, still at plus 150. But again, depending on what happens tomorrow night, I think these odds will change. I think whatever happens with Rollins' belt will determine these odds a little bit.
You know what? I think I'm going into tomorrow night now, hoping that Rollins relinquishes the title. I think that can make everything so interesting now moving forward, rather than I do believe Rollins will be back and ready for WrestleMania. WrestleMania is, what are we talking? It's like 9 or 10 weeks away. I do think that he's going to be ready for WrestleMania, but I definitely don't like the idea of the title is just non-existent and hanging out there until he's ready to fight again.
And if they're going to be true to the story that this title, since it's been reintroduced, That's whole true. Thing has been it's the working title. I'm always going to fight. I'm a fighting champion. He's got to relinquish it.
I think you're right.
He's got to relinquish it. And I also don't. Why would they have an announcement if he wasn't relinquishing it? What's he going to come out just to say I'm not relinquishing the title? I'm hurt and I can't wrestle till Mania, but I'm not
these announcements are usually bad news.
Right. Cody's 2, Gunther's 3. Now, I guess if you're going to say someone from SmackDown,
I think the move is Gunther defending the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania. I don't think the move is him winning.
Right.
Royal
Rumble. I'm just saying, if there was any chance of it being somebody from SmackDown, maybe if the title match is not the main event, Randy Orton. He gets screwed in the title match and then he comes back and wins the Royal Rumble.
Well,
I think going to do Randy Orton and Roman at Mania? Probably not.
Well, can I just say something? If the undisputed title is the main event of Royal Rumble, then Roman's losing the title, right?
You think so? Why is that?
I don't think the night ends with Roman Reigns reigning supreme again. That's why I think Roman wins and the men's Royal Rumble is the main event. I don't think the night ends with Roman, leaving as the champion. So what I'm saying is, if that title match is the main event, I think it's because Roman loses. Because whenever the time comes that Roman loses, it's obviously the main event of whatever night that is.
Yeah, but how about this for the ending? Cody wins the Rumble. Roman wins the Fatal 4-Way. Roman's reigning tall, and then Cody's music hits.
Maybe.
And then it's like, all right, now we know the story is he's trying to finish, whatever it is. But
although we kind of know that already, if Cody won the Royal Rumble,
I know, but that would be the way to get the crowd happy going home. Cody comes out.
I mean, or Roman wins and the night ends with The Rock.
But I will point out to you, still tied for 7th best odds, MJF.
Not a chance. Not a chance. What are we getting? So I like where you're headed with the Rollins stuff. So tomorrow's a massive Raw.
Sure. And Cody and CM Punk have a face-to-face tomorrow night. They're doing some type of
hold on to that. Hold on to that for a second. So either way, no matter what happens tomorrow, Rollins is not fighting at Royal Rumble. Nothing is happening with that belt at Royal Rumble, which is kind of
unless you make the Rumble for that belt.
Right, unless that's the case. But if he didn't get hurt, would he be defending the belt at Royal Rumble? The world champion is not fighting at Royal Rumble?
There wasn't anything set up as of last Monday, so I guess not.
It's kind of weak.
Yeah.
It's Royal Rumble. It's a big deal.
I know, but they've been doing smaller cards. There's already 4 matches, and I'm assuming, I think Rhea's going to have a match, it seems like.
So what do we have so far? We have the 2 Royal Rumble matches. We have the United States title match. We have the Undisputed Championship match, so that's 4.
That's it.
What else are we going to get?
Maybe Rhea, Nia Jax. They have been sort of teasing that a little bit.
They also teased the Women's Tag Team Championship. Is that possible for Royal Rumble?
No, they're fighting next. They're fighting on SmackDown.
Okay, good. Yeah, because I don't want that at Royal Rumble. Okay.
Gunther, could he get something at Rumble? He hasn't fought on it. What was his last pay-per-view? I don't even remember.
Tell you what, we're not going to do it right this second. I'm looking forward to talking about Gunther. But I don't think he's fighting at.
No, he's not. But he could. I'm just thinking about possibilities.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, what else is there?
You got to get one of the women's
tag match.
titles.
Do we get DIY? DIY just beat Dom and JD. Do they get a title? Maybe a tag title shot tomorrow night. Set that.
No,
up?
But I'm talking about at Royal Rumble.
That's what I'm saying. Set up tomorrow night.
Do they get? Okay, I see. One of the women have to defend their title at Royal Rumble. What are we doing otherwise?
Yeah, but Io has nothing going on right now.
Right. So
it's probably
would Rhea get Nia Jax? Maybe.
I think it seems like Rhea because they've been set. Because look, and again, I don't want to jump ahead, but they obviously seemingly set up Becky Lynch and Rhea for Mania in some respect. However it happens,
I don't know. I love what they're doing right now because
I think there's gonna be a fatal. I think that we might get a fatal 4-way at Mania.
Yeah, maybe because you got several women who are gunning for her. I love what they're doing. Like there's no obvious path. I love what they're doing.
Yeah. So or a triple threat, or you get Nia, Rhea at Rumble, and then you get Bayley, Becky, Rhea at Mania. That'd be a good match.
Tell you what, I better still have Nia Jax in that Royal Rumble match for Jade Cargill. She better find her way on that match.
I don't know, man. I don't know what other matches. I truly don't know.
I hope we get Rhea.
I will say this. At this point, how can you have an event and not have R-Truth on the card? I'm being dead serious.
Well, no, why can't he have a big spot in the Royal Rumble with Judgment Day? There's a Judgment Day Royal Rumble.
Yeah, he will. I think he can, but I mean, that guy deserves to be having matches right now. I know I'm going way on a tangent here. Did you listen to his interview with Peter Rosenberg?
No, I heard it's great though. I think I'm gonna get Peter on my show this weekend.
It was only like 25 minutes, but it was incredible. Like the stories first of all, he just seemed so happy, but the story he told about how close he was to, like, he almost lost his foot and or whatever, his ankle or whatever.
We headed toward a Sami Zayn kind of deal with R-Truth right now. It feels a little bit like, right?
Well, Peter, he made a great point in the interview. He said, what's left for you? Like, what do you need? And the main thing that they talked about, he's never had a singles match at Mania. I don't know that he's going to get one, but right now he's there. There's no one hotter on the roster. There's no one hotter.
By the way, I'm taking back what I said about Rhea. You can't do Rhea and Nia Jax at Royal Rumble because otherwise, why does Nia Jax care so much about winning the Royal Rumble if she just got her match? Like, she's getting the match with Rhea. She wants to win the Royal Rumble so she can get Rhea. She can't now be given it at the Royal Rumble because then it takes away her entire motivation for winning the Royal Rumble. You can't do it.
Yeah, but if she loses, then she's motivated to get it again.
Yeah, but the whole thing, that segment she had with her last week, is like, I'm going to win the Royal Rumble so that I can fight you.
Also, here's the thing. And again, from a storyline perspective, at Royal Rumble, you're not winning a chance at Rhea. You're winning a chance to main event WrestleMania or fight for a title at WrestleMania. It doesn't mean it's going to be Rhea.
Yeah, no, I know.
So hypothetically, Nia Jax is just, I want my spot at WrestleMania. I don't, whatever. Whoever it is, I want my spot.
So what is this Cody Punk segment tomorrow?
I don't really know, to be honest. Okay. I don't really know a whole lot. I think it's...
Tell you what, though, it's going to be wild, those two in the ring together, and you think about where we were just a few years ago.
Well, exactly. I think it's just they haven't really interacted since Punk's been back. They're both they've both put their name in the Royal Rumble. They're two of the few who have announced that they're in the Royal Rumble. They're both sort of gunning for the same thing. So I think it's just like a face-to-face between Punk and Cody. And I think, like you said, it just takes a much bigger tone now because of the Rollins stuff.
So this is setting up a moment, it seems, like they did what year was it? Where they did it in 89, I think it was. Or no, excuse me, in 1990 in the Royal Rumble, where you had Hogan and Warrior were the only two in the ring at one point. And it was the first time that we ever saw them actually exchanging blows. And then it led to WrestleMania 6. We're going to get a moment then possibly in Royal Rumble where maybe we just have Cody and Punk in the ring together. Yeah, that would be really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I will be fascinated to see if they make, like, what kind of references to AEW they make in their back and forth tomorrow night.
I don't know that they will.
They won't like say AEW, but they'll make some Cody at least. Maybe not Punk because his circumstance was a little different.
Right.
But Cody, I think Cody will make some references. I don't know what they'll be, but I think he'll throw something out there, I think.
Could we be, this is a Monster Raw tomorrow. Could we be setting up Jey Uso? Like, New Day's got a thing going on with Imperium. Jey is now helping them out. Gunther kind of laughed him off last week. Could we be setting up Jey being the one to take the belt off Gunther?
Yeah.
That'd be pretty hot.
Yeah. I saw an interesting theory it was just like fantasy booking on Twitter. But one guy on Twitter, his idea that he tweeted was Brock comes back in the Rumble. Gunther eliminates him. Gunther and Jay at Elimination Chamber. Brock causes Gunther to lose the Intercontinental title, setting up a Mania match between them two. And Jay wins the Intercontinental title and defends it against Jimmy at WrestleMania.
I don't like it.
Okay, why?
When Gunther loses the Intercontinental title, it's got to be clean.
Yeah,
it has to make the other guy. And that doesn't make you if it's not clean. It's got to be clean.
But Jimmy, first of all, Jey Uso doesn't need to be made.
It'd still be a really big deal.
And Gunther's whole thing is that he is the ring general. Like, he can't, the mat is sacred. If he doesn't lose, like if he loses clean, then how do you then say, all right, now it's time for him to move up to the world title scene?
Well, because he's awesome.
Right, I know, but if he loses, if Brock causes him to lose, now there's a reason for him to beat Brock clean at Mania, and now he's a true main eventer. I
mean, like, to me, it would be like if when the Undertaker's streak ended, if it wasn't clean, it wouldn't have felt right, you know?
I see what you're saying. I think, yes, I think he probably, but I also think that they still really want to do Brock and Gunther at Mania, it seems like. So, I don't know.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Gunther here.
I just want to jump back. Giovanni, who is always listening, said, talking about Rollins, he said he's had so many injuries. How shocking would it be if he retires?
Shocking.
I mean, that'd be pretty shocking. But he has had, I mean, he is injured a lot. He does get injured a lot.
He does, but it'd be very, very shocking. Good question, though. So speaking of Gunther, I can't be the only one who now, I mean, I liked the scenario we just laid out with Jey Uso and Gunther, but the one that I like better.
Can I say it? I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, go ahead and say it. I know you know. Go ahead.
Pete Dunne.
Yep. Pete Dunne's, like, the timing, what's the timing for? Pete Dunne is back, all right? We knew he was coming back from the promo with Big Strong Boy a couple weeks ago. Pete Dunne is back, which is awesome because Pete Dunne is the fucking tits. He is awesome. And so the Bruiserweight's back. Well, Pete Dunne, when he lost the NXT UK title, which he held, by the way, for like 2 years, he lost it to Walter in probably my favorite NXT match of all time. It was a sick match. We don't have a story to tell coming full circle, and Pete Dunne gets it back on Gunther by winning that Intercontinental title from him at WrestleMania, because I know that match will steal the show. I mean, almost every match that Gunther does now steals the show, but Gunther and Pete Dunne would tear the house down. I mean, the timing, he's Pete Dunne again. WrestleMania season. Is that not a possibility?
No. Well, yes, of course, but I think it's WrestleMania 40. I think it's Gunther and Brock. And Gunther wins that match, and then Pete Dunne can beat him at SummerSlam or something after that.
Okay.
I
love this Pete Dunne being back, man.
I just think this year's different. I think every match has to be like something. It's like, you know, right now UFC fans are a little disappointed because UFC 300 is coming up and the card looks like shit. And it's like UFC has bad cards from time to time, but this is UFC 300.
Mm-hmm.
It's 300, like that number, something big. You got to capture the people. And I know Pete Dunne and Gunther would be an awesome match, but
for the mainstream crowd, they probably don't have enough time to build Pete Dunne up enough.
Exactly. But Brock's coming back, and they've been reporting he's coming back soon, which means probably Royal Rumble. And that's a great, I mean, either that, I mean, and if you assume that they're going to do Jay and Jimmy at Mania, which is what people have been thinking for a long time, Brock Gunther makes too much sense at Mania. And that's an awesome, I mean, talk about putting a guy over and making him a massive, like, megastar. Gunther beating Brock at WrestleMania is about as big. I mean, that's as big as it gets without being in a world title match.
Because they're not on shows together anymore, we have to get a Jay Bloodline confrontation in the Royal Rumble in some fashion, right?
Gotta be, yeah, I would hope so. It's gotta be something, right? But the Bloodline, you know, it's probably a fatigue thing. I don't know what it is, but you know, Roman's music like Roman, it doesn't hit for me anymore. Like when he came out on Friday,
Oh, I love it still.
I don't feel the same way anymore. I don't know. It's lost its luster to me.
I love it.
I know, but
I'm still all in on him, man.
Yeah, but it feels like it's time. It feels like it's time.
I don't think it's time.
Well, yeah, I guess we'll see. I guess
you're not willing to say that he's not going to win on Saturday, right?
Oh, he's winning on Saturday.
Yeah, he's winning Saturday.
I wouldn't be. Randy Orton's the man.
I do think there's a small chance Randy Orton wins, but like I said, it's a small chance. Roman's still winning on Saturday.
Yeah,
the only way, I mean, could it be a scenario where this is how they protect Roman and also make it make sense when he fights The Rock, so that The Rock isn't gunning for the championship. The Rock is gunning for head of the table, and it makes sense because Roman's not even the champion anymore when he didn't get pinned but lost the title at Royal Rumble.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it could be, but I think it's more... honestly, I think we're going to find out Saturday. If Cody wins the Rumble, I think Roman Reigns could main event both nights.
Oh, it'd be so good. We're Saturday is for the head of the table and Sunday for the title.
And there's no way we think that WWE gives The Rock to Australia and they fight at Elimination Chamber.
No.
No way, right?
I think there's no way.
Right. I don't think so.
Did you
either.
see what time that show is on here on the East Coast? The Rock is returning and he's fighting at 5 a.m. Fuck out.
That show's at 5 a.m.
It's 13-hour time difference. 5 a.m. East, they announced. 2 a.m. West. The Rock is fighting at 2 a.m.? What are you talking about?
If the show starts at 5, then he wouldn't fight at 5. He'd fight
I understand, but come on.
No, I didn't know.
Scrambled eggs at 7 a.m. and The Rock returns? Come on. It's ridiculous.
Then you can't, if that show's at 5 a.m., you can't have the world title defended in Elimination Chamber. No one's going to watch it. I guess it doesn't really matter.
Well, it doesn't matter because everything is streaming now. Like, why would I wake up at 5 a.m.? I'll wake up at 9 a.m. and I'll put it on from the beginning.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, Roman's not losing on Saturday. I think the reason why Randy seems like a live dog to win the Rumble to me is because it's a fatal 4-way, and clearly AJ and LA Knight are going to take each other out in some way, and that's going to keep going.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and if they can play the story up like Randy loses because of those two, now he's going to go into Rumble with a head of steam to get his actual match that he thinks he deserves. Maybe that happens, but I don't know. I just don't see Randy Roman main eventing WrestleMania.
By the way, real quick here, fun match, Seth Rollins and Jinder Mahal. Was there any moment that you thought Jinder was going to win? Rollins took the shot to the head and then the Colossus. Did you think he was about to lose?
No.
Okay.
No. Well, there was a part of me that was like, maybe he'll lose, and then...
That's how Randy Orton lost, and a good job out of Corey Graves by referencing that in the moment.
The only part of me that thought tiny 1% maybe that made me think it was a chance is because the briefcase is still out there. But no, I don't think so. But I will say, to my brother's point about that match, I know that match caused a huge stir, the Tony Khan stuff and this and that, but this is why you don't have your world champion fight a match against Jinder Mahal on free TV. You risk what happened. He tore, he has to have surgery now. He might not be able to fight at WrestleMania. I mean, the match was relatively meaningless. It did come out of nowhere. Not that it wasn't an entertaining little storyline and whatever, but you put the guy in the position to potentially, have something happen. I know that's the risk they take.
Just 2 weeks before Royal Rumble.
But it's close to the biggest season of the year, and you have him fighting Jinder Mahal on Raw. I mean, it's
Before we continue on here, Joey, let me tell you guys about one of our other great sponsors here on It's Still Real to Me. I'm talking about a huge pro wrestling fan, of course, Matthew H. Mashler, your trusted real estate broker, signature real estate finder, realestatefinder.com. If you're looking for your next dream home in any part of beautiful South Florida, wow, the Bills just missed the field goal wide right with 1:43 to go. The Chiefs, 2 timeouts left each, but holy shit. The Bills just missed the field goal. All right. Anyway, you're not going to miss if you're looking for your dream home and you go to Matthew H. Mashler, your trusted real estate broker in any part of beautiful South Florida. He's going to make sure that the process is smooth, is seamless, and you leave with the home that's perfect for you and your family. Matthew H. Mashler, call him at 561-208-3334 or go to realestatefinder.com. Hey, maybe you're looking to sell one of your current properties. Matthew H. Mashler, 561-208-3334. Are you already in the business? Are you ready to take your real estate career to the next level? You could join the Signature team. That's right. The Signature Real Estate companies are South Florida's industry leaders, ranked number 1 in Boca, one of the tops in the entire state of Florida, and with offices all throughout the state, Boca, Delray, Coral Springs, Palm Beach, Orlando. The Signature team is where you want to be. So whether you're buying your dream home, call Matthew H. Mashler today, 561-208-3334. You're looking to sell your property, realestatefinder.com, or you just want to join the best in the business. Matthew H. Mashler, your pathway to exceptional real estate experiences. Wow. I want to start off here. Oh, didn't you have something fun for me? You got a Royal Rumble trivia?
Oh, yeah, I do. So this morning, I was on YouTube, and there every now that because it's Royal Rumble season, they post full Royal Rumbles. And the one that popped up on my feed today was Royal Rumble 1994. Okay. 30 years ago. 30 years ago.
Yep.
There were 2 entrants in the 1994 Royal Rumble who are still currently full-time wrestlers. Who are they?
Wow. That are still full, not necessarily WWE. It could be any promotion.
They are in one of the 2 biggest promotions on the planet.
I'm going to go Billy Gunn.
Yep.
Wow, how about that? Right off the top of my head.
Yeah, that's he's still pretty present. Yeah.
Yep. All right, so Billy Gunn.
This other one, I consider him full time, but he has not been as active recently. So I'll give you that hint.
Billy Gunn, and this other one might be tough. Not as active recently. Billy Gunn and I don't know, who is it?
Jeff Jarrett.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. Oh, I should have been able to get Jeff Jarrett then if I remembered Billy Gunn. Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's amazing. That was that was Bret Hart and Luger, right?
Yeah. Yep.
That's a good WrestleMania 10. That was a good one. Madison Square Garden. That's a good one.
A lot of dead guys in that match.
It's
like 6 guys in a row. Actually, at one point, it was crazy.
Wow.
Or it was like 5 guys, I think, in a row. It was very weird to watch.
Let's do some AEW here. Samoa Joe and Hook. I thought it was cool, right? Match was great. It's pretty good, no?
Look, I know we're trying to do the let's not all. I don't like Hook.
Really? I like Hook.
It does nothing for me. I think if he wasn't Taz's son, he'd have. And I know that happens in wrestling. There's nepotism and guys move up and whatever, but he looks like a high school wrestler, and like these other guys, the Darbys, who as you know, I also don't really like.
By the way, Chiefs won. This game's over.
Yep. Wow, that was a crazy. That field goal miss was nuts. Mm-hmm. Tyler Bass is really good too. Like the other guys that are small, they're like athletic and they do the whole, the flips and the whole thing.
No, Hook's like a real wrestler.
Hook's supposed to like come off as intimidating, and he looks like he's still in height. His nickname is the cold-hearted handsome devil. That's not intimidating.
Right,
There's nothing intimidating about him. And look, if they weren't pushing, like if he wasn't getting a title match, then it wouldn't build him up into something. Like you have on the women's side, for example, Julia Hart, who is incredible, but she's also really young. She won like 40 matches in a row at one point. She never got a world title shot. She is the TNT champion and she deserves it. And she's really good. She's still young. Like Hook is only in this spot because his dad is Taz. He's not Taz. And Taz was a small guy too, but Taz looked like a monster when he came.
Taz was a brick house.
Right. But he was short, right? He was like 5'8", 5. But Taz was a monster. Shorter.
Yeah.
That match, I think you made the point, like Joe never got a world title in WWE because they couldn't trust certain aspects of the way he worked.
Yeah.
That match was a perfect example. Like there were multiple spots where Hook could have been hurt really bad in that match. Really bad. The spot on the table was scary. And I don't want that. I don't want to see that. That's not fun to me. That is not a fun spot to me. Everyone's like, oh my God, this is incredible. It was a pretty short match. And a decent percentage of that match, Hook looked like he was getting like murdered, and I know that's the point, but like I don't know, it was a good match. I get it, but it didn't have to be for the title. Didn't have to be for the title. I don't know. It's a weird. The Hook thing is weird to me. He's my new Darby. I've always shitted on Darby. Darby, whatever. Do your thing with Sting, whatever. Hook's my new Darby. I don't get it.
My favorite part of the night, though, unexpectedly, was the tribute for Jay Briscoe.
That's a tribute. I mean, that's I cried, by the way. I was watching it the next day, and it was not easy for me to watch that. That was
I loved it. I loved that segment. You know, he comes out and boy, he's a character, that Mark Briscoe. All right. And then when he starts talking about he's in full character, and then he begins talking about his brother passing away, and specifically his nieces, and how the one of them, and I didn't know this part, that she wasn't supposed to walk again. And I'm saying to myself, oh my God, she doesn't walk? This is terrible. But while he's talking about this, he wasn't in character anymore. Like he was a legit, he was not doing the voice. This was not in character, and he was getting very emotional. You could hear. And then he brings the nieces and nephew out, and oh my God, thank God she's walking. Like she looks totally fine, which was so cool, because I thought he was telling us that she's not walking anymore, you know? And then he hugged them, and we still them boys. And by the way, when they flash the graphic on the screen for Mark Briscoe, it says in the fine print, "Dem boys will always be remembered." Such a weird thing to put on the graphic.
By the way, that's not as far as I know, and I've seen some interviews with them, it's not a character. I think that's just Mark Briscoe. I think he actually is like that in real life. I think he acts that way in real life. I think that's really just Mark Briscoe. I think he's like that.
I loved that segment. I really did. Yeah. That was my favorite part of the night. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I mean, I was happy to see that a week after what I considered to be an awful tribute to Brody Lee. So I was happy to see that. And it's good too that they do that. I mean, those guys, most people who are not really hardcore fans will never truly, I think, understand how important the Briscoes were to wrestling, like the independent wrestling scene, and like the building of all of this stuff that went. Like they were probably the most prolific indie tag team in the history of the indies. I mean, they were incredible. And Jay specifically was a world champion too in Ring of Honor. And all these guys that are in AEW and that bounced around and like made their bones and became part of AEW, they all fought the Briscoes. And so it's cool to see that, you know, for a while, Turner didn't want Mark Briscoe on TV.
Yeah, I think there was some like comments that have been made in the past, right?
Years ago. Yeah. So it's good to see that that he's still around there and they're letting him, you know, honor Jay's.
I love
Jay's
that
legacy.
segment, man.
Yeah.
The Young Bucks, this is how you make them heel. Like make them corporate douches, you know. Awesome. They come Fantastic. Out. Yeah, I really liked it, and let them just badmouth. We're trying to get rid of guys like Sting. They don't belong in pro wrestling anymore. Now all of a sudden, now I'm invested in Sting's final match at Revel. Like now it's cool. And I hope they beat the shit out of these two douchebags. Like I
completely shit on CM Punk in their backstage promo.
Yeah,
just completely shit on him. Like we tried to, we got away from what we were supposed to be, which was changing the world, and we tried to ride the egos of these washed up old superstars.
Yeah.
And they were like, not Sting. He's a model employee, but we got to get rid of him.
Yeah.
It's like
I like it. I think it's good.
And they're like the mustaches and like.
No one wants to root for a dude with a mustache. Mustaches are stupid, man.
Call us by our God-given names. Did you get your paycheck this week? You're welcome. Like all that stuff. That's good shit. It's really that's good. And yeah, it sets up perfectly for why they would fight Sting. They're awesome.
So Kazuchika Okada he's gone from NJPW.
Yeah. Are we done? Because there's one more AEW thing that I think we need to hit. This Bullet Club Gold Scissor Gang thing, Bang Bang Scissor Gang,
right?
What do we do? So the Kingdom thing, Adam Cole's group, the Devil's group.
Mm-hmm.
He's got 4 guys.
Yep.
They're going after all these other. They're going like Roderick
other
Strong's
factions.
going after Orange Cassidy. The 2 guys have the Ring of Honor tag titles. Wardlow's going for the world title. These guys are teaming up, and we're supposed to the understanding that we're supposed to have of this is that because Adam Cole's group attacked both of them, the 6 of them would be stronger together to go after the 4 healthy guys in that group.
Right.
That's the storyline that we're supposed to go with here. And they're calling themselves the Bang Bang Scissor Gang, and they're both trios champions.
The only part of it that's interesting to me is the whole idea of Billy Gunn working with his sons again. Like that part I am interested in how that pans out.
But well, I think here's where this probably needs to end up is that they put both trios titles together. Like that they end up fighting each other and unifying the trios titles. Why do you need 2 trios champions? Why do you need trios champions at all? But like, why do you need to have the Ring of Honor trios champions and the AEW trio champions in a 6-person group?
Yeah.
The Bullet Club Gold is so good. They're so
Juice
good.
Robinson's hurt, right?
Yeah, but now do you see?
Sucks.
So if you don't watch, like if you don't see their backstage stuff, for a long time they were carrying around a cardboard cutout of Jay White, and they called him Cardblade. And he was the 5th member.
I saw that.
Now they have a cardboard cutout of Juice Robinson, and it's called Cardboard Juice Rock Hard Cardboard Juice Robinson or something.
I like it.
I love that. I mean, they're a great group. Their new music's awesome too. I just this whole thing, it was just so weird to me. I'm like, what? Why are they together? Like, what is the reasoning they're together?
It was team up, man.
A 6-person super group to take out the Undisputed Kingdom, who only has 4 people.
Right.
And also that group doesn't even attack people anymore. Like that's not their thing anymore. They're not attackers.
They're not attackers.
They're not. That was their whole thing when they were in masks, and now they don't attack people anymore. Oh, there was one other thing I wanted to bring up. Can I ask you something?
Mm-hmm.
All right. In sport, like when a great Hall of Fame player in a sport, like in basketball, for example, like Shaq bounces around, or Shaq goes and plays for the Suns or whatever. Do you think don't you think like sometimes, like if it's not good, it can impact their legacy?
Yeah. I think we're seeing it with Russell Wilson right now.
Okay. This is happening with Adam Copeland. This is happening right now with Adam Copeland.
Maybe.
I want to read this off to you. So
I mean, like WrestleMania is going to happen in 2 months, and Adam Copeland is talking to an empty side of the arena on Saturday nights.
But I want to throw this out to you. Adam Copeland's last 10 matches in WWE, Edge's last 10 matches in WWE. Sheamus, Grayson Waller, who's not a Hall of Famer, but great.
Yep,
AJ Styles, Rey Mysterio, Finn Balor, Theory, a mixed tag with Beth Phoenix and Rhea and Finn, the Royal Rumble, Finn again, and Dominic Mysterio. He's had 10 matches since he's been in AEW.
Yeah, let me hear this poo-poo platter of a list.
Luchasaurus, a triple threat match teaming with Sting, Darby Allin versus Dutch, Vincent, and Lance Archer. Another triple threat match teaming with Sting and Darby Allin versus the Patriarchy, Christian's group. He's had 2 official matches with Christian and then the 1 cash-in. So 3 technically. Griff Garrison, an 8-man tag match where he teamed with Dustin Rhodes, Preston Vance, and Orange Cassidy against Brian Cage, Lance Archer, and the Gates of Agony. Lee Moriarty and Dante Martin.
I hear you.
Like, what when
and all of it just so he could work with Christian again.
And we had that. When he had that match with Sheamus. Remember, we probably did a 10-minute segment.
That was in Toronto. Yeah,
we did probably the next show. We probably did a 15-minute segment where we ran down where Edge ranks in the history of WWE.
Yeah,
and we came to the conclusion that he's probably somewhere in like the top 20, top 30,
maybe top 20,
maybe top 20, top 25, somewhere around there, and just WWE.
Yeah.
Which makes him a first ballot Hall of Famer and one of the best ever.
Well, he's already in the Hall of Fame, but yeah.
Right. I'm saying, but now he's having an open challenge, and on Dynamite this week, he's fighting Minoru Suzuki. And the story that Tony Khan's selling to us is that Adam Copeland is having an open challenge to work his way back to the TNT title.
Right, but he wasn't supposed to give a shit about the TNT title. It was just about Christians. So I don't understand.
He shouldn't give a shit about the TNT title.
Remember how he looked at that TNT title when he won it?
This is this whole thing. Like AEW is bringing back.
It was a little pathetic.
Yeah, but AEW is bringing back power rankings, and they're trying to lean back into the.
Well, I like that.
I know, but they're trying to lean into the whole sports, like more sports centric thing.
Yep.
If Floyd Mayweather wanted a box today, would he have to build his way back up to fight for a title, or would he just fight?
He would get a shot at the champ.
Why does Adam Copeland need to fight Lee Moriarty? What do we do? Like, what's happening here? He's probably.
They're telling you he's on the level of Lee Moriarty by doing that.
Adam Copeland is on the level of Lee Moriarty. Yeah. All right, fair enough.
Kazuchika Okada, like, is it possible we're going to see him at WrestleMania, or is that not? It's a weird thing because
I don't know if he's going to WWE. I think he's.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, if he's going to WWE, it's so that he could be at WrestleMania. But I don't know. It seems far fetched to me. It seems like AEW is the spot for him because you got that hardcore fan base. Guys like Kazuchika Okada, to me, it's the WWE audience. They don't really know the background of a lot of these guys,
No, but he's such a star, and he has an aura about him that, like, one of the problems AEW has had, and we talked about it with Kenny Omega, he has never been presented, at least in my estimation, in AEW the way he was presented in New Japan.
Right.
He just hasn't been. Like, in New Japan, when he comes out, even last year at Wrestle Kingdom, when I watch it, I'm like, wow, look at the presentation for the star that this guy is. He doesn't feel that way in AEW. And I don't think Okada would either. But I know what, I'll tell you this, Okada would be presented as a massive star in WWE. And I think that's the thing that they're saying he's sort of weighing, which is Tony Khan has offered to let him live in Japan and just come over and work for AEW whenever he wants. Or does he want the big spotlight that he's never had, which is WWE? And there's a natural storyline there. He can come in and fight Nakamura because they have the history from New Japan.
And they're tight, right?
Yeah, I think they are. He's fighting in TNA. Like, he's going to be in TNA. He's doing stuff with them. He's going to do some indie stuff. But, the bigger thing to me is New Japan's it seems like they're kind of going away. I don't know that this is good for New Japan. This is bad for this might be bad for wrestling, if I'm being honest, I think.
I don't think it's bad for wrestling because I think we're so removed from it here in the States that I don't think it's bad for.
Yeah, but if stars like Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada don't exist in New Japan, then AEW doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're saying. Like there's this thing there, right? Like Okada specifically, to me at least, he's this larger than life figure for New Japan. And anytime somebody leaves the WWE or leaves AEW, goes indie, then there's always that thing that they can go gravitate towards too. And since Kenny left and all those guys came over, it's been Okada and Will Ospreay and Jay White. Everyone's gone. Like there's always like at least somebody that, the non-casual wrestling fan has an idea of over there. And it's good. Like, who's Dolph Ziggler going to fight over there?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's not fighting Will Ospreay. He's not fighting Okada. Jay White's in AEW now. He's going to fight David. Do you know who David Finlay is?
I do.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, that's who he's, but sort of like, who's Jack Perry going to fight? And do we care?
Right.
But it was always good. It was always fun for wrestling fans, and it helped rebuild a lot of careers to go over there. And I think what New Japan has always done really well to me, or at least what it's felt like to me, is what AEW's always tried to do, which is like, make it like a real sport. Like, I don't care about New Japan storylines, but when they have these mega, like, huge matches, I care about them and they're fun.
Yeah.
But
it catches my attention when that happens too. I hear you.
And now they just don't really have it with that, especially losing Okada, and Tanahashi is now like the president of New Japan. I don't even know if he wrestles. So we are removed from it. It's not our day-to-day thing, but it is kind of shitty. Like, it's fun seeing guys go over and have these huge, like, sort of dream matches with the Okadas and the Tanahashis of the world. And it's AEW is just poaching all those guys away.
Yeah. I hear you, man. I'm thinking maybe we'll see what happens tomorrow night. if tomorrow night's crazy, which it might be, we should probably do a bonus show late in the week. I'm obviously going to Royal Rumble on Saturday night, so we'll plan on doing this again. 9 p.m. again next week. That seems to be the time slot right now because I'm slotted again next week to do prime time on ESPN Radio. So it seems like 9 p.m. is kind of the money time for us, at least right now, which is fine. We'll react to Royal Rumble next week. It's going to be a huge week, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, by the way, speaking of the indie stuff, did you see Nick Nemeth versus Matt Cardona announced for
Yeah, I saw it was announced. Because it hasn't happened yet, right?
No. I think it's next month sometime, but that's going to be How
do I watch that?
I don't know. I'm going to have to figure it out.
Yeah, I don't know. How am I going to watch that?
I don't know, but I'm going to watch it.
Yeah,
and I actually meant to watch TNA this past week because I'm interested in seeing what Nick Nemeth is doing. I just forgot. But I just want to follow him because I love Dolph and I feel like he's going to be. I don't know if you saw, he was in Puerto Rico the other day and he used his WWE music.
Oh,
as
really?
His entrance music. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's cool. And then last thing, I guess this will be the big dirt of the day. It's one thing. Big dirt or not big dirt. Gable Steveson gets booed at SmackDown wearing an Atlanta Hawks jersey. That's how
was he in the crowd?
No. He worked a dark match.
Oh, he did a dark match. He fucking sucks. Like I don't ever need to see him again. He should only be doing dark matches. He stinks.
Yeah, he did a dark match against Cameron Grimes, and people are killing because there was a spot, I guess, like when you're trying to like throw someone off the ropes and they hold on and they bounce you off.
Yeah.
Like Cameron Grimes held onto the ropes, bounced him back off, and for no reason at all, Gable Steveson did a backflip, like a standing backflip in the ring, and everyone was just kind of like,
sucks.
Yeah, but I guess he tried to wear a Hawks jersey to cater to the crowd, and got booed out of the arena from what the reports say.
He sucks. All right, Joey. Today's show brought to you by Bet Online. Tell all your fans, your legions of fans and followers, that you'll talk to them again later in the week. We'll probably do a bonus show. Go ahead.
I'll see you guys later in the week for the bonus show. Appreciate you sticking with us through that wild playoff game.
Yeah. Make sure you like, you rate, you comment. You got the notifications on. Smash that like button. That's what the kids like to say. And we'll talk to you on the next episode of It's Still Real to Me. All right. See you guys.